This may not be the popular opinion, but I actually really enjoyed this movie. There are quite a few flaws, though. Um, I actually watched this before. I didn't realize until I started watching it again. But this was probably one of the first horror movies I watched years and years ago. I started recognizing it after Leatherface started chasing her after he killed Kenny. But let's talk about the actual movie now. Um, it's a pretty simple plot. People get mad at the Sawyers because they're murderers and cannibals. So they decide to take justice into their own hands and burn the house down with them in it. All of them end up surviving. None of them end up surviving besides three people: Leatherface, his cousin, and the cousin's mom, the real mom. But the mom doesn't stay alive very long. She gets kicked in the face and then left for dead. She was already pretty injured, so that probably killed her, obviously. They end up going to go see this new house and whatever because she found out that her grandma died with her friend Kenny, who really doesn't have that much personality, so it wasn't too surprising when he was the one killed off first. Her boyfriend, who cheats on her twice with the same girl, who that girl sexually harasses the guy that she cheated on him with. Because she straight up smacks his ass without his consent in a store, and he's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Then she later gets killed by a cop. And speaking of her, this is one of the flaws. She is one of the people that survives the whole Leatherface thing. Last she knows, she's still alive. She literally jumped and went to the carnival and blah 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 to make sure she was alive. She distracted Leatherface to chase her to make sure she would still be alive. And then later, when she's in the police station, she's like, "Yeah, she's still alive. You need to go find her." There's no later line where she just assumes she's dead or whatever, or finds her body. She just later starts saying, "Hey, all my friends are dead." But last you know, she was still alive. There's a homophobic comment in this movie, which I didn't like, because the 70s movie, 1974, did not have that. If you're not a big Leatherface fan, Leatherface has another mask that he puts makeup on, and it's like Lady Leatherface. Well, the cop finds some makeup, and he's like, "What a fruitcake." Like, okay, was that line really needed? What's that add to the plot? And then he just kind of moves on. He just passes judgment, and then moves on. And then for some reason, that cop is following the random dude's orders instead of the actual sheriff that's telling him what to do. The sheriff tries to make him listen for a little bit, then he just kind of gives up. He doesn't try to talk him out of it, even when Marvin, the cop that I've been talking about, realizes it's a bad idea, and he's like, "Oh, I don't know what I'm doing anymore." He's starting to realize that this is a bad idea, but the sheriff doesn't try to talk him out of it. He's just silent. The only more info that he adds is he tells him to keep his gun ready. Even though, you'd think now that he's questioning what he's doing, you would try and talk him out of it. You would listen and you would be able to survive, but sheriff doesn't even try. Another flaw is they don't explain why the people in the beginning of the movie that, set the Sawyer's house on fire didn't go to jail. There's no explanation. Sure, they're cannibals and murderers, but they walked up to the house and threw Molotovs at the house. Full intent on harming someone. That is destruction of property, attempted murder, and it is murder, since all of them were dead, as far as they knew, besides Leatherface, and the daughter they kidnapped and adopted. Well, one of them did. I want to know how they didn't get any jail time. They don't explain it at all. They don't even mention it. And then there's one cringy line. I'm sure if you've heard about this movie, you've probably heard about this scene. She tosses the chainsaw to Leatherface and she tells him, "You get him, cuz," or something then like dumb like that. But the delivery is what really does it. It's bad. Most of the deaths are pretty cool. Besides the very last one, they tried to go all out on it. The CGI is not good in the slightest. So it really undermines his death. Because you just can't look at that and say, yep, that's good, because it wasn't. But overall, I do think it's a pretty interesting movie. It's pretty good. Fortunately, I couldn't find the third one anywhere. Couldn't find the 2006 one either. And the brand new one that came out, obviously I can't watch that yet since it isn't on anything streaming. But there will be one more that I will be watching. Unless I get lucky and the rest of them get added to something during October, since it is Halloween. I will be watching out for a lot of horror movies now in October, so I can try and get some series done. Really want to finish the Hellraiser series. I've seen all of them but Hellraiser Hellworld. But anyways, back to this movie. For now, the final movie I'm going to watch is the 2003 one, because it is available. So you can expect that. And soon you can expect the Purge movie. And I might do the Kill Bill movies. I was thinking about watching those like years ago. And then when it was referenced in Tusk, I was like, yeah, maybe I should watch it. And then I'm going to watch Annabelle 3 for sure. But overall, it is a decent movie. Practical effects aren't the best. Oh, actually, I did forget one thing. There's this dude, Daryl, who's a hitchhiker that they pick up, right? And they fully trust him. They talk to him in like 2 scenes. One where he offers them $60 for like gas money or whatever and asks for a piece of beef jerky after they hit him with his car. And unlike the first movie, he is not a evil hitchhiker, to say the least, because in the first movie he was a part of the Sawyers and he cuts his own hand open and tries to kill one of the main characters. Not a good guy, but in this movie he's just a lousy thief. They for some reason trust him. They give him his bags, all their bags to take in the house. He takes them in the house and then he starts stealing shit. Then he finds like this secret place where Leatherface is hiding and he gets killed. Why did they trust him exactly? They don't give a reason. They're just like, oh, he's a Boy Scout, who's nice. The only other scene they talk to him before they let him into the house for some reason is like talking to him about her grandma, and he's like, yeah, I don't really know her. And she's like, but family's family, and he goes, amen. And that's about it for him. Really don't get why they trusted him. They talk to him very little, and he's a random hitchhiker. He's not one of their friends. He easily could have took him to the store with him, left one of the friends there. But yeah, that's about it.